Oh man, I'm a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Hi there, I'm Jared Young, and last weekend I was interviewed by REDfm for a special Teachers' Day special. Unfortunately, I was an emotional wreck on live radio. Yeah, that happened. After that, my own mother came up to me and said in my face that she disagreed with what I said. Well, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So are you. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And please be kind. Those of you who are interested in hearing a little bit about my story, the challenges I've faced, what are the things that I've done, as well as what my current plans are, please continue watching. And finally, I want to say a big thank you to Muhammad Hilmi, who is an educator in Sagamat, and he helped me to record the radio interview. Now he does have a YouTube channel. I've linked it up here. There's a card somewhere here or there, and also in the description below. He does useful product comparisons, so be sure to visit his channel, say hello, and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get to the interview.
Okay, now, first of all, I'm sure you've been asked this question like multiple times before. Like, what made you decide that you want to be a teacher? Is it something that you've always wanted to do, or did anyone encourage you?
yeah, you're right. This is a very, very common question that I get. So anybody can be a teacher. Anybody who wants to be a teacher can be a teacher. And when I first started, I wanted to make a difference. At the beginning of my career, I decided very early on that, if I was a terrible teacher, I would rather resign and, go to the kopitiam and sell kolomi rather than destroy generations of children.
Yeah.
So I kind of self-sabotaged, At the end of my teacher training, we were given the forms asking where we wanted to be posted, and they gave us 3 choices of where we prefer to teach at. And out of the 3, I only filled 1 choice. I wrote, di mana saya diperlukan dan kebolehan saya dimanfaatkan.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, giving the government permission to send me anywhere they wanted. If they send me to a city, I will go. If they send me to a plantation school, I will go. If they send me to the mountain, I will go. If they send me to an island, I will go. If they send me to a jungle, I will go. And they really did. They sent me to a jungle.
Oh, okay.
In the middle of Sarawak. So I spent 6.5, 7 years in SMK Katibas.
Oh, okay.
From Sarawak. So why did I do that? I think at that point, I really, there's a Malay proverb that sums it up really well. Kalau asal benih yang baik, jatuh ke laut menjadi pulau, jatuh ke darat menjadi gunung. So if I was as good as I thought I was, I actually can be great anywhere. In a fully equipped city school, in the middle of nowhere, I can be great. If I can be great in the jungle, I can be great really anywhere in the world. I've been through the worst, and nothing else can even compare after that. I've experienced months without electricity. I bathed in muddy water, washed my clothes, my dishes, get my toilet water there. I've ran out of the house in the middle of the night to collect rain. I've experienced mosquitoes bigger than your eyeball, scorpions crawling on my walls.
Oh.
It was extremely hard, but teaching in a rural place, students are just wonderful. The personalities are so beautiful, and there's so much that we can do as teachers over there, because honestly, not many people are trying. So even if we do just a little bit, it can make a really big difference. And these are really children who will be able to transform their community if we guide them and we give them the proper education early on.
Yeah, very true. Very well said. So, teaching has always been your passion. It's something that you know that you want to do. So you don't mind, being transferred anywhere around the world as long as you can, do the thing that you've always wanted to do to sort of, impart your knowledge or your wisdom to the students. Is that right?
I just want to emphasize that I didn't choose to be a teacher.
You didn't choose. Oh, okay. But you sort of
But-
discovered along the way that you want to do this.
Being a teacher chose me. It was something that I found out that was meaningful. It was something that made a difference. And, you can make a lot of money, but making a difference and changing lives, that is something that money can never buy.
Yeah, very true. So along the way, the experience sort of taught you that, this is what you want to do. It has encouraged you and inspired you to be a teacher. Yeah, so that's very well said. I was just wondering, what subject do you teach, and how do you normally engage your students to get them, interested in the subject that you're teaching?
I teach one of the one of the most killer subjects in the country. I teach the English language.
Okay.
Like how do I normally get students to engage? I think it has to be very much based on the situation, the teaching situation. I think the best teachers, they would create unique methods for each situation, and each student is different, each school is different, each country is different. We can't just cut and paste something from here and put it somewhere else. It may not need to be tweaked and fine-tuned. So according to my experience in the 2 Malaysian schools that I have taught in, these are some of the challenges that I faced as a teacher, English teacher there. So the students lack role models. They don't have people to look up to and say, yeah, I want to be like that person. So that's why they don't want to learn English. The living environment is one thing. There's no environment for them to practice English outside of my classroom. So 3 hours a week, that's probably enough to help you pass an exam, but not enough to get you to, be able to use the language in a meaningful manner.
Yeah, very true.
And there's also self-confidence, and also students from less fortunate family backgrounds, unfortunately, they really struggle with learning English. So I would tackle these 4 issues in the 2 Malaysian schools that I've taught in.
Oh, so yeah, especially when you're teaching, like you mentioned that you taught at in the middle of the jungle. So I'm sure it's it's a bit of a tricky task to sort of get everyone to learn English, especially when they don't speak it as a second language even, right? They only learn it in the classroom, so you have to make sure that they get enough input for them to be able to learn English properly. So now everyone knows being a teacher is not an easy job, right? There are a lot of obstacles when it comes to teaching. The job requires a massive amount of patience, a lot of hard work. You have to constantly be adaptable and engaging. Now, could you share with the listeners about some of the challenges you had to overcome during your duties as a teacher? I know that you mentioned a few just now. Maybe you could share some more of your experience as a teacher.
I think if how we approach teaching makes a big difference. If we approach it as just a job, that's how we'll treat it. We'll clock in the hours and then we'll leave and we'll collect our salary at the end of the month. And that's perfectly fine. We need people to do that. Because we have so much need for teachers, and especially great teachers who look at their work as a vocation, look at this opportunity that they have in the classroom as a chance to transform lives and make a difference. So let me share some of the ways that I've tackled these 4 problems that I shared earlier. My students lack role models, so I would seek out people who are interested to come to my school, to give talks to my students, to run motivation camps, to help out in academic workshops. And a lot of these people, they would actually be willing to pay for their flights and all the transportation stuff to come to my school in the middle of nowhere. The most effective people I've seen are the people exactly like my students. Well, in SMK Katibas, my students are 100% IBAN. So I had one chance to bring in a group of IBAN professionals. And when they gave a speech, I've had plenty of people come and give speeches in English, in DM, but the students just can't feel it because I think they look at the speaker and they say, yeah, you're someone else from outside. But when someone that's exactly like them, not exactly, but similar to them, speaking their language, comes to them and says, look, you can do it. This is what I've done. You can do it as well. Come and join me. You can change your community. That makes a really, really big difference. And with problems with environment, I think within my sphere of control, the school, I can change the environment in the school, but I can't change the environment outside of school. So I focus on what I can change. At my school at that time, I put up a lot of signages. I put out a lot of notices in English. I created a lot of fun activities like camps, like games for students to participate in, and students at all levels to participate in, so that they would get a taste of English and think, English is not that bad.
Yeah, it's fun, right? It's not just learning everything from the book.
And I think one of the most important things that I did was to befriend the students at the school who are influencers, and to get them to join in, to get them to participate, to get them to lead English activities. And when other students see these students doing it, you have converted, the whole school in no time, thanks to these student leaders. And right now, I'm currently in SMK Sarawak Jaya. I've only been there for a little bit more than a year. And I see similar issues because the students, this is a sports school, the state sports school. So with English, a lot of these students come from outside of cities. So they also struggle with English. So they have similar issues with not having role models, not having the self-confidence to use English. So I'm trying to incorporate similar programs where it's like simple stuff like, okay, let's do a comic drawing competition. The people who draw the best comics, I'll recruit you. Okay, you're going to draw comics every month for all the classes. I'm going to print everything. I'm going to post it in all the classes so that students, even the students who don't read very well, they have something to read in English every month.
Yeah.
Comics is easy. And also, like, right now, it's just the MCO. Students are stuck at home. I'm trying to tackle the issue of them having no role models. My students are athletes, so I'm looking for athletes I can interview, and then share the interview with my students on YouTube or whatever it is, so that they can access it in their own time, and also they can see like, hey, this person is just like me, a footballer, and this person can speak English, this person has done this and that, and this person needs to study hard.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. So these are some of the things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to overcome these challenges. And all the teachers in Malaysia, all of them are trying to solve this problem now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not easy at all, right? Especially, with all the obstacles. Normal teachers have obstacles in their daily lives. Now with the MCO going on, it's even more difficult, especially with the online learning and everything.
Yes. Personally, I haven't had much success with online lessons. Because I teach 4 classes of English, and despite all of my efforts, I've made posters, I've PM students, I called them, I left voice messages in Bahasa Malaysia, I created WhatsApp groups, I use Google Classroom. I'm just like that desperate ex-boyfriend that's trying to get in touch with you. So, despite all of that effort, only 3 to 5 students participate in my lessons.
Oh,
every week.
okay. So not everyone participated in the lesson then.
But, and many teachers in Malaysia are facing similar circumstances.
Yeah, so a lot of the teachers are facing similar problems. Of course, we've got to consider the students who haven't got good internet access as well. So the ones that are privileged enough to have like good internet access, they might be able to participate in the classroom. So I'm pretty sure having to think of this ways to like overcome your challenges must have been like really difficult, but I'm sure it was definitely worth it, wasn't it? So moving away from the challenges now, let's talk about your accomplishments. What were some of the important milestones in your career as a teacher, do you think?
I think my biggest accomplishment was last year. A group of students from. Sorry, I'm getting emotional a bit.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Take your time.
My school.
Okay.
In Song, SMK Katibas.
Yeah.
They called me up randomly, and then they asked to meet me in Kuching.
Mm-hmm.
And then in that meeting, they asked how they could help. So give me a few seconds.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. Take your time.
How they could help their community and their school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
Must be the coffee I had this morning.
It's okay. Take your time. Yeah, I know it's difficult times, and I'm sure it's great that your students, they are, so motivated and inspired by you, probably to, that they go out of their way to like actually want to help you in this situation.
They're not helping me. They're helping their own people.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is important because I'm an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live there. I don't live among them. I don't know their problems firsthand.
Yeah.
And if I do anything, it will only be as effective as what an outsider can do.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were to do something, they would band together, work together for their community.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm a mess. That will make a really, really big difference. And I take that as, my biggest milestone, my biggest achievement as a teacher.
Yeah, I'm sure having, the amazing people in your life has inspired you to be like, inspired you to do more amazing things as a teacher and in your career as well. I'm sure. Yeah. And that was a lovely story. So, talking about the MC, I know you mentioned that, a lot of the teachers are facing similar problem, the same problem, right? So, with the MCO and now the CMCO in effect, and the usual lessons are now down online, but it seems like, not everyone can comply with this, especially now with the CMCO. There are some parents who are going back to work, so it becomes more difficult for them. So there are parents and guardians who might be too exhausted from work of the online lesson or shifted to nighttime. So what's your take on this, when it comes to shifting the lessons to the nighttime? I hope you're okay now.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
So, like, for your listeners, this is an English language radio program.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet your listeners are mostly middle class and educated.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned a long time ago that being able to speak English in Malaysia is a marker of privilege. So I think your listeners probably are already probably doing their best for their children because they are aware of the importance of education.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is now for the lower income group and how their children are missing out and being left behind in so many ways right now. And I don't blame the parents because they need to focus on their attention on the most immediate needs.
Mm-hmm.
Between their children going hungry and getting an education, that's not a difficult choice.
Mm-hmm.
They have to focus on, right now they haven't had a job for 2 months. What are they going to do for food and money? So I think we really need to. It's just not just about education. This is like a wicked problem that all aspects of society need to band together and figure out solutions to some of the most biggest issues that no one person can actually tackle himself.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's interested in helping out, let me know, man. I'm looking for allies. I'm looking for people who are willing to roll up their sleeves and do something for education, for communities in Sarawak.
Yeah. So collaboration is very important in this case, right? So since school has been out for a while, how do you or teachers in general plan to keep the students motivated and to follow this new normal of life? As this pandemic, COVID-19 is still around with no cure or vaccine for at least another year. So it becomes something that we have to do constantly after this. So like you said, collaborations is something that the teachers are doing right now?
Just like how I shared previously, my engagement is especially low. Like 3 out of 5 students, 3 to 5 students out of 4 classes. And there are many teachers in Malaysia who are facing the same situation. But that doesn't mean that we're gonna give up. We're gonna keep on trying. We're gonna keep on innovating. A lot of us are old dogs like myself, learning new digital tricks every day.
Oh.
So what I plan to do personally myself is I'm trying to get engagement up by creating my lessons and activities and homework that is more related to real life. For last week and this week, we worked on we worked on a video for a teacher at the school. So every student got to pick a teacher and make a 1-minute video for the teacher.
Oh, okay.
And what I did was I collected all of those videos and then I mixed and matched them for one long video for all the teachers in Malaysia. So people can check that out on YouTube. And I'm going to put more stuff online because I feel that if I ask my students to come, okay, everybody come at 9 o'clock every Monday. Some of them can make it, some of them cannot. So it might be better for me to put my stuff on YouTube that they can access in their own time. And also, to increase student participation and also to appreciate the 3 to 5 students that have been, consistently participating and handing in their homework. I am incorporating a reward system. I'm a teacher. I don't have much money, but I decided to do a lucky draw.
Okay.
Like if you do one homework, that's one ticket for the lucky draw. So just to encourage them to do their homework, and then they'll have a chance to win pop-up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So students love to use their mobile phones, so I think pop-up will be something that's motivating to them. That's some of the things that I'm trying. Of course, if they don't work, I'm going to scrap it. I'm going to think about different things and try different things. But that's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, so the thing about being a teacher is you have to be adaptable, right? So if this way is not working for your students, you have to think of new ways to make sure that they, participate in your class and make sure that they're interested in the lesson. So I find it really interesting that you actually have a lucky draw for your students. I've never heard of that. And that's actually really interesting, to get students to get motivated to do their homework. They're going to win something at the end of the day. But, it's one of the ways to make, online learning so much more interesting.
Yeah, I've had people criticize it because they're like, I don't believe in bribing, what do you call that, giving people gifts,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm willing to try this. And if it works,
Yeah, if it works, right? Yeah, some people might look at it a different way, but it could be some sort of like a motivation for the students, right? It's not like, I wouldn't say that's actually bribing them to do the work, depending on how you approach it, of course. But I think that's actually one of the, maybe the more effective ways to actually make the lesson more interesting. Now, Jared, there might be some who dream to become a teacher who are tuning into the show right now. So for all the aspiring teachers out there, listening in right now, what wise advice would you give to them?
I think that every person is unique. You are unique. You have something special to contribute to education in Malaysia that those before you have never done before. You need innovators. You need teachers with the mental resilience to face hardships. The many, many hardships that, moving a nation into the 21st century will definitely throw at you. And Malaysia really, really needs you, especially right now. And for all of you who are on the fence, if you think that you are great, the only way you can prove it is by becoming a teacher. Not everyone is able to lead a group of 20-something children who don't want to be there in that classroom.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Not everyone has the empathy to love and care those high society prefer to throw money at rather than reach out and help a healing hand. if you truly love Malaysia and you want to have a direct hand in making Malaysia a better place, be a teacher.
Yeah.
Malaysia needs great teachers like you.
Yeah, definitely. So very well said. So I'm pretty sure, you know, all of the aspiring teachers who are tuning into the show right now are very well inspired by your story. You have done so many things, amazing things in your life, and you've traveled so much, you know, and then, you know, talking about the experience that you've had teaching in the middle of the jungle, and the students, the lovely people and amazing people that you've met, you know, to the point where you were emotional just now telling your story. That just means that, you know, this is definitely your passion, and I'm pretty sure you're going to do more amazing things in life. Now, Jared, thank you so much for taking out the time to speak with me here on the show, and also thank you for everything that you've done for the students, for the younger generation. And I wish you the very
for having me.
Yeah, I wish you
all teachers out there, happy Teachers Day.
Yeah, I wish you the very best with everything. Keep on doing amazing things, and happy Teachers Day. Jared, thank you so much.
Oh, you're still here. This is a pleasant surprise. Thank you so much for staying all the way until the end. Please like this video, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much. It has been an honor to spend time with you today.